my fellow Americans.
This is the Color Commentary Podcast.
My dudes, how you doing? It has been way too long. We did take a week off for you steady listeners. I'm sorry to disappoint, but we are back. It is cold outside. It is the last day of November 2025. There will never be another day of November in 2025 other than today. Jatana, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Man, it's a great day to be a Duck fan and a December birthday baby.
But December to remember, another December birthday baby. June Dog, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. You know, a nice little break from work with the Thanksgiving holiday. Took the whole week off, so I'm recharged, ready to get it in.
Treat yourself. Well, I say we just get right into it because Jatano mentioned it. The Oregon Ducks.
This week's Bum of the Week and
Stud of the Week.
Bum of the Week.
The Oregon Ducks game has a direct correlation to my bum and my stud. So I'm going to kick things off. My bum of the week, Husky Stadium. Like, I've been to a lot of college games at different venues, and granted, a lot of them were neutral site games, but being in someone's home stadium and just really looking forward to the game. You know, you play the Coming Home to Oregon song by Matt Kearney. You play the I Love My Ducks. You play the Shout song, like all getting hyped up on the way to the game, only to realize that that's pretty unique to Oregon to have that much in-stadium tradition and that, game entertainment tradition. Husky Stadium, zero tradition. Like, they don't have anything that is unique to them. They played a clip from Kevin James trying to fire up the crowd when he was wearing a hat to promote I Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, which came out in 2007. So 18 years ago, they had one celebrity shout out the Huskies during a promo. They had some corny hype up music in between quarters that was like a jazzercise vibe to it. The players were dancing. It just seemed really cringeworthy. And the stadium itself, it holds 20,000 more people, roughly, I think 18,000 more than Autzen. But it just felt dead. I mean, you're in the middle of Seattle. You got Lake Washington right there. It just feels like you're in the middle of a parking lot. There's no atmosphere. So, bum of the week, Husky Stadium. Ducks came in there and handled business. It was awesome to see them live. My stud of the week is a young man named Ignas Sargayunas. Are you guys familiar with this young man?
No.
Well, let me introduce you to him, because you've heard of Reggie Miller's Madison Square Garden comeback where, he scored 8 points in 11 seconds. You've seen Tracy McGrady do it, but have you ever seen this? Because this young man playing against Great Britain, they were down by 7 points right here. Hits a 3, 10 seconds left. Okay. Guy makes a free throw. Okay. You're down by 5 points, 7 seconds left. Okay. Let me hit another 3. Light work. Okay. Still not really in it. 2-point game, 3.5 seconds left. Now on this inbound play, same guy gets the steal, comes down for the win. 3 threes in 10 seconds. Improbable. Like to see it from the international folks. So that is my stud of the week. And neither of you guys probably saw that. So you're welcome.
I actually did see that, but it was fire. So I'm happy that I got a chance to see. I'm happy that I got a chance to see it again, Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was fire. It was fire.
Okay, June, who's your bum and your stud?
All right, man. So my stud of the week is going to Janiah Barker from the women's Tennessee Vols. Bum of the week behavior here. So Janiah transferred from UCLA to Tennessee over the offseason. Not unsurprising, for a player to transfer. But so UCLA just beat down Tennessee today by like 20-some points. And going through the handshake line, she refused to shake the hand of her former coach, Corey Close, which to me, that's just like, man, that is like petty, bro. And like, what's one thing like, to just shake, maybe don't look at him in the eye or whatever, but like to just like straight up, just like, I mean, I won't say she fully knocked the hand away, but like kind of like, nah, it's just, man, that kind of behavior is just, man, you just look like a punk. And like you left because you weren't getting playing time, but it's not like there were any, when nobody getting abused or nothing like that. Like you just, you didn't like your fit on the team. So you transfer, like that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyway, so that just happened like a little bit ago. So that's fresh in my mind.
Did they win or did they lose?
Tennessee lost. The player lost.
So she was extra salty.
She was extra salty, and they got beat up too. I mean, they lost by like 20-some points. So like, yeah, but still, no, you know, that's punk move. My stud of the week is going to go to my San Antonio Spurs, who are continuing to win games somehow without Victor Wembanyama, without Steph Castle. They are still number 4 in the West. They just beat the Denver Nuggets on Friday to make their way into their first knockout round of the NBA Cup ever. So shout out to my Spurs. Right now, they're in a game right now. They're hanging tough with the Minnesota Timberwolves, even without their stars. So hope when I check that box score after this pod that they win another one. But hey, shout out to my Spurs, man, keeping it going without Wemby and Steph Castle.
Okay, is Harper back?
He is back, and he's looking good. He's looking good.
Okay. Jatana, who you got for us?
Man, I got to give this guy some credit, and his name is Mr. Arch Manning. To get that win against and knock them out, like, you know, both of these schools have this persona that they're so good and they've won national championships. I can't remember if A&M's ever even won one, and the last time I checked, it took a miracle Vince Young for them to win one. And beside that one, they ain't won one since Richard Nixon was president. So, you know, these Texas teams got this, they just got this hook 'em horns idea that they're really good in football. And Arch went down, or they were at home. He didn't play great, but they won the game. And I think that win is going to do some justice for Texas's season, because that loss, I mean, it doesn't look good for Coach Sarkisian, but you knock your rival team out of the SEC championship. Maybe you're doing them a favor. Now you got the good old boys of Georgia, Alabama playing for the SEC title. So, and then my bum of the week, and his name is Mr. Lane Kiffin. I'm trying to figure out, what is he chasing? This guy is walking away from a team that's about to play in the college football playoff. They're on a run that they've never seen this type of success at Ole Miss, and you decide to walk away to go to LSU and all their problems, to go be with Mike the Tiger.
I mean,
let's get him, boys.
Let's segue that into some college football talk, because I agree, kind of a bum move. And that's an interesting question. You say, what is he chasing? Because it seems like he goes from job to job, and he's had success everywhere. But like, what is enough? And I think that goes back to the conversation a couple of weeks ago where we were saying, what's the most attractive job out of the openings? And one of you guys made a case for LSU, I believe, where the other one was like, no, that's too much pressure. So there's definitely two schools of thought. What's your guys' take?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had LSU maybe the second. I think I had Florida as the number one best school, but you know, I think it's just weird hopping in between SEC schools, because, you know, you kind of, at least for me as a northerner, like, I don't really get the nuance between all the SEC schools. Like, I get like Ole Miss probably isn't as good of a job as LSU, but like, I don't really understand how good of a job LSU is compared to Ole Miss, right? Like, I mean, Lane seemed to be cooking down there at Ole Miss. I mean, you got a chance to win a national championship this year. I know a slim chance, but I just find it weird. Like, I mean, I'm sure the pay, I'm sure he's going to get a pay raise, which, I mean, that's a lot of the motivation. So maybe that's really it for Lane. I mean, maybe he's just chasing that bag at this point.
Yeah. And JD, like, what if you had to answer your own question, what is he chasing? Is it the bag? Is it the notoriety? Is it just to touch every major school in America?
Well, this is his third SEC school that he's been a head coach at. He was a head coach at Tennessee for one season, and he was doing all the Rocky Top stuff then. And then he left to go be the Raiders coach, and, you know, then he went to go to be USC. And, you know, the thing with Lane is they didn't like him. They said, no, we got to fire you at the airport.
He's an acquired taste. He's a polarizing dude.
But I don't know what he's chasing. I think that you can build the same type of roster, one reason I say build is because you have all the different parties involved. One, you got talent acquisitions now, because these players are talent. And so therefore you need to go acquire the talent. You also got recruiting, and then you also got a little known thing called coaching. Player development, which people forget that the job of a coach is to develop their skills. That's why you're the coach. So I think Lane can do those things at a better clip at LSU. I think that's what he's telling himself. I got more resources. I got $25 million to build a roster. $25 million to go acquire talent. And that's either in the high school or the college level. So I think he believes that LSU is far more superior brand and the challenge of building a program like LSU to be stable year in and year out, winning 10 plus games like he's done at Ole Miss.
Yeah, but the thing about Lane, too, is you go back to, like, what is he chasing? This will be the third job that most other coaches would say are permanent gigs, right? You get to be the coach of Tennessee. That's kind of a lifetime gig. You could be the coach of USC. That's kind of a lifetime gig, right? Like, and this is like his third major school, which is just wild. Yeah, it's just wild. So to get back to it, I don't know, Kris. I mean, I think it always comes back to money, and I do agree with. I think your points are valid there, JD. But I just want to say it's just weird, man. I don't know that he's ever going to be content, to be honest. Like, and I don't know. He might be in 3-4 years. We might talk about the Alabama job opened up. Is Lane Kiffin going to jump to Alabama? Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if that's the case.
Yeah, it could be in his long-term plan. I don't think he's the type of guy that has a 5-year plan. I think it's just what feels like upward ascension in, I guess, the perceived prestige in the role itself. And LSU is a notch above Ole Miss, and he can leave on a high note with it at Ole Miss and say, "Look, I did."
Kind of, except you're just leaving before the playoff. I mean, I think that's going to really. I don't think Lane cares at this point, especially the way that he left Tennessee. I mean, similar circumstances, right? Just like in the middle of like the season or something like that, like or before the bowl game.
It's a business. Like, you never know if there's an ultimatum put on. I mean, they talked about Ole Miss having an ultimatum. Maybe LSU had an ultimatum of take it or leave it right now, and he was forced that. But I mean, for years, regardless of the format, we've seen playoff college football be kind of something you can take or leave, whether it's a senior that doesn't want to play because he could get hurt and hurt his draft stock, or a coach leaving or saying he's going to leave but still coaching the last game. It's kind of a de facto trade deadline move where it's like, this is going to happen, and the postseason is a separate entity. How about my white secondary of the Caucasian Collision Unit, also known as the CCU? Everybody knows by now because it's a household name, but look at my boys here. We got Bryce and we got the young man Thieneman, who they both lay some hat. And that was one thing that I noticed. I don't know if it showed up the same way on TV, but when Thieneman hit one of the receivers for Washington, he held onto the ball, but he
right in the chest,
racked him. It was impressive that the young man on UW caught the ball, but I didn't know he could lay hat like that. So this shirt is it's appropriate. I don't know if I knew that he could lay hat like that before this game against UW, but man, what'd you guys see on TV? Obviously it's a different vibe in the stadium, as you both know, but JD, you're real familiar with. For one thing, we were sitting on the other side of like where the TV feed is. So when you watch it on TV, it's like, oh, it's a different angle of how I, consumed the game. So that part was pretty cool. But how did it come across on TV? It felt too close for comfort being there? What'd you guys see when you were watching?
For me, there was never a doubt. There's a few plays the quarterback got wiggled, and he was able to shake, but the running game was decent. The running back got some yards, and we bend but we don't break. But I'll tell you this, Kris, from my experience of being in the Husky Stadium, it's no Watson. I'll tell you that much.
No,
it is no Watson.
There's no home field advantage.
The bands, both bands had to be kicking, because I swear I heard Oregon's band. I know the sound of an Oregon Duck band. But on TV, going back to that hit, that's what you call good coaching right there by Coach Lanning and them. He hit him in the apex, in the shoulder, with his shoulder,
clean hit,
in the sternum, not at the head, didn't drop his head. That's what I take from that hit right there. That's coaching.
That's good coaching, yeah.
Because a lot of times now we've how like when you look at dogs or animals over time, we've bred certain things out of a dog. Certain vegetables were a color at one point. We've kind of bred it out, however you would say it, hitting high in the neck. You know, we are getting better at our coaching, and our players are being more receptive to hitting in the chest. Therefore, there's less of headshot penalties, both in college and in the NFL. But it was a great game to watch. Dante played great. I knew the run game was going to be a tough one, but I like that they kept going to it, though. That's
It was
the one thing I
frustrating.
will say.
That was frustrating how they stuck with the run. We say it all the time. I was kind of upset at Will Stein's play calling in the first half because it was. I said this to KJ. It was like if you're playing Madden and you do like coach's suggestions and it gives you 3 options. It's like he would always go with the most boring of the 3. I mean, it works. It gets you to 3 to 5 yards, but it's not the fun, exciting play until Malik Benson went full DK Metcalf there in the fourth quarter. And
he really did. He really did.
The only thing that's different compared to this game and the game against Bo and Michael Penix is that Coach Lanning took the points. He learned to take the field goal, and we've been watching our Detroit brethren biting kneecaps not take the points, and it cost them now.
That's true. Hey, speaking of taking the points, did Atticus, did he have a career long field goal or something? He did a real big celebration after that long one.
Yeah, it was
51.
Yeah, it was career long.
It was career long. Okay. They don't tell you in the stadium. There's no stats. There's no service.
Yeah, he barely got it though, too, man. Like,
yeah,
he barely got it. But
he was hyped though. He did a whole ditty in the middle of the field afterwards too. I was like, it must have been a career long.
Yeah, it was. But you asked about like what it looked like, and yeah, I feel some of that, JD. Like it never really felt. I was just never really worried. Even like how you felt, even like in like the Iowa game, right? There were some moments there you're like, ooh, this one like can go either way. I don't think I ever really felt that. You say Dante had a good game. I say Dante had an okay game.
He missed a lot of throws.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go back to what I said last time on the pod. Is like, man, if they really gonna win the ship, like he's got to hit these ones. Again, another one to Sadiq where he just makes damn near injures Sadiq, like lays him out like he's wide open. You got to drop that in there, man. And I know he makes the incredible throws. I need him to make the simple throw every time. I need him for him to make the, and I'm not even saying that throw to Sadiq was simple, but it wasn't advanced, right? It was an intermediate, level throw. He's got to make those in the playoffs, man, or they aren't going to be like those one plays are going to matter so much against teams like, Ohio State and Notre Dame. And you can get away with it with Washington and Iowa and, these other schools, but he can't have that happen. And also back to the CCU, I don't know, man. Put Betcher in the same category as Thieneman is like that's major disrespect to Thieneman because like he's so much better.
I don't
than
know though, bro. Betcher
like,
at the college level though, Betcher is a factor. Like
I mean,
he's all over the field. He may miss a lot of tackles.
Yeah, he misses a ton of tackles, and he
has a nose for the ball.
No, what he does is he makes splash plays, and then he gives up so many other plays by one being out of position, 2 being too damn small, and then 3 just missing tackles. Man, he's exciting. He's boom or bust, man. He is so inconsistent that it drives me. And I was actually texting Joel. Joel was like, "Man, why do you hate on Betcher so hard?" And it's just because like he's not consistent enough for me, and I can't stand small linebackers like that. I know he's like up to 230, but I don't believe that, man. He can't play in the power run game. They pull him out of the lineup when the teams are doing power run. And so like I don't think he's that great of a player, man. I really don't.
Well, what is another word for boom? You said boom or bust. Another word might be collision. And all he said was part of the Caucasian collision unit. He didn't say he made every collision. He makes collisions.
He don't really hit that hard is all I'm saying though. But like, okay,
bro.
Like, okay.
I'm gonna have to find a supercut. But okay. I see the hatred coming through, light racism, but that's all right.
Just what the eyes tell me, man. Just you're not passing my eye test. Sorry.
Okay. All right, bro. Well, hey, hopefully he has a long career in Major League Baseball.
In baseball, exactly. Yeah, man, go do that. And Thieneman is cold, bro. He's like All-American level nice. Cold. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, don't compare him to Betcher, bro. Like, he is like the truth.
Yeah. To follow up on your Dante point, I think he needs to find games or moments, which I think he did at Penn State, and I know there's a grain of salt there, but where he steps up and is the star of the team. Yesterday he wasn't the star. He managed the game really well. But it wasn't, you didn't walk away and say, man, that dude is next level compared to everyone else. Like he did enough to win the game, but it wasn't like he had his fingerprints all over the game. Any other college topics we want to hit on here, boys?
I mean, we got to get it moving. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. NFL, the grown men, the professionals. Right now it's winning season. It's playoff positioning, and there's still some frauds, and there's still some Reggies, and there's still some contenders within the playoff picture. So I want to go around and ask you guys 2 teams that you would buy and 2 teams that you would sell that are currently in the playoff picture. Gitano, who you got first?
I'm gonna sell my stock in Jacksonville. You're 8-4. I don't care. I mean, you're the 3 seed right now. Like, did you hear what I just said? You're the 3 seed. I'm selling that stock, and I hate to buy stock in New England, but man, their record is their record. 10-2 is 10-2.
Yeah.
And, you can only beat who's in front of you. So shout out to Coach Vrabel and what they're doing with Drake May and that team. And they look hungry.
Who you buying? Are you so 1 buy, 1 sell?
Yeah, that's and let me go my NFC side. Let me do my NFC side.
Okay. I want to double down on your sell, and not just selling Jacksonville, but I am selling the winner of the South Division in both conferences, whether that's Jacksonville or Indianapolis or Tampa or Carolina. Whoever wins the South in the AFC and the NFC, I'm selling. So that can be 1 sell or that can be 4 sell, whatever you want, but that's my sell.
All right. In the NFC, I got to buy a little stock in Caleb in Chicago.
Whoa, that's my take too, boy.
I gotta buy a little stock in that team right now. I wouldn't call them a penny stock, but man, they're rising right now.
Couple dollar stock.
In that division, which we thought was murderous row, and they keep on getting wins. And I'm selling all the stock in Mr. Jared Goff in Detroit. Yeah. That was very sad. At home, Michael Parsons, they should be, whoever should be sending the Green Bay Packer shareholders should be sending some extra stuff to Jerry Jones for packaging Michael Parsons, because that guy, he's good.
Well, that's like, I want to segue into kind of split this into 2. So I was high on the Detroit Lions at the start of the season. I was on their nuts. Probably going to be wrong there. But who else was I calling out at the beginning of the season, saying they were kind of like the OKC of the NFL? And then again, when they were 1-2, saying they were going to make the playoffs. Do you guys remember who that was? Was that Da Bears? Da Bears. I've been talking about the Bears all season, so it makes me happy to see that. I'm going to call my Bears. And a team, I'm going to go ahead and just finish my buy. A team that actually Junior, I believe, called at the beginning of the season. And people have been doubting them and questioning them and talking about them. But my goodness, what are the Dallas Cowboys drinking down there, man? Holy cow. Chalk it up to some midseason moves, to George Pickens coming of age, to CeeDee Lamb coming back, or to the death, sadly, of the young man that took his own life. But something is cooking down there, and they are just taking down powerhouse teams. And you can't say it's because they're looking past them anymore, because it's the Cowboys, They're always circled on people's calendars. So, Junior, good call early on. I'm buying stock in your Dallas Cowboys. Who you got?
Just to take that a little further. So the Cowboys just beat the Eagles, right? I don't know that the Eagles are good, even though they're not looking good. I don't think they're going to lose too many more games. But Dallas they play at Detroit, and they play against Minnesota at home, against the Chargers at home, who probably won't have Justin Herbert. He just broke his hand today. Then they play at Washington, then at New York. I mean, the Cowboys could easily win all of their remaining games. And at Detroit it'd be tough, but they could still, depending on how the rest of the division shakes out, they could lose to Detroit and then win their other 4, and they could probably squeak into the playoffs still, which is wild.
That tie game messes everything up.
It does. But from a talent perspective, we were talking real trash about their defense early on, and it was terrible. They had a ton of injuries on the defense. They got like 3 or 4 guys back. They got that Overstreet dude back who had missed basically all last year and then so far this year, and they look like a decent defense at this point. So Dak is still just Dak. He's not amazing, but sometimes he looks like it, and sometimes he looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And that's just the Dak experience, right? But he's already thrown for 350, 320, 319, 361. I mean, that he's.
Did you guys turn off or stop paying attention to the game against the Eagles when it was 21-0 in the early second quarter? And then I turned it on late and I was like, what?
Yeah. I had it on in the background, I think. So I was following along, but yeah, that was wild. But I am definitely buying stock in my Dallas Cowboys right now. But you know what's funny is, whose stock I'm selling is the Chicago Bears.
Go ahead.
And here's why. If you look at the Bears' wins this year, they're against the Cowboys when they were Cheeks, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Saints, the Bengals, the Giants, the Vikings. I mean, they have wins against Pittsburgh and Minnesota as of late, but I think those teams are also trending back as well. I don't see them with the real, with the statement win. I think their 9-3 is a little bit of a smoke show.
But it's kind of, you only play the teams that are in front of you, just like New England,
Yeah. Okay. But I'm just saying, I'm selling them for that reason. I don't think they've really had that adversity, and I don't think they're ready to overcome that adversity. They beat the Raiders by 1 point, and the Raiders should have won that game on a last-minute field goal that got blocked, right? And so, I don't trust them yet, man. So I'm selling that they're this contender just because they're 9-3. I think they're one of those teams that, just like every year, they're gonna come out, they're gonna make the playoffs, and they're gonna get the brakes beat off them in the first round of the playoffs.
No way. Not every year. It's just, hey, sticking with the NBA comparison to the Thunder. You only play the teams that are in front of you. And for a young team to have momentum and a young quarterback and a new head coach to build that sense of winning and that culture and that attitude, I guess, that's invaluable. And you didn't know OKC was going to be dominant until they were. So time will tell.
Yeah, but that actually that supports my point, because OKC had that year where they were number 1 seed, and then they lost in the second round or whatever, right?
But
and
the second part of your point was that they would be in every year and lose every year. So I'm saying, even if they lose in the first round this year, that's not to say they won't come back next year. And
I'm not saying that. I'm only talking about this year. I think this year it's their learning year. I think because Caleb looks like he's on a trajectory to be a good quarterback in this league. If he can keep that up, looks like Ben Johnson actually knows how to coach. And so I think in the next couple of years it might be competing for a championship. I think this year, though, I'm selling the stock, because I don't think they've faced enough adversity. I don't think they're ready for the bright lights.
Okay. And with that, anything else on the NBA?
NFL? No.
I mean, on the NFL before we move on to the NBA? No? All right. Well, you know what time it is then.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
The Hawks could win 60 games and be like the top 1 or 2 seed in the East next year.
Yeah. Okay, Atlanta currently sitting in 5th in the East at 12-8. Not as hot as they were the last time we talked, but still doing well. The Lakers currently are 14-4, so there's a chance they can win 60 and a chance they can have more wins than the Lakers. But Junior, where are we at?
Yeah, well, the thing that really hurts me with the Hawks is that they lost to Washington, which is that's and it was at Washington, but that's tough, because Washington is obviously just not a good team. But the only other losses they've had recently were to Detroit and San Antonio, both top teams in their respective conferences. So they're still doing good. They're still doing good. So I'm still hopeful
Still
that they
trending, still tracking.
Yeah, they're still playing well. So they just beat Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland's supposed to be one of the best teams in the East. I know none of us agree with that, but they are supposed to be. And they just beat Cleveland. So they're still trending in the right direction. Yeah.
Well, we have a actual unit of measurement for who is doing well, at least in high pressure, this means something games. And we have the NBA Cup bracket. So right now it's OKC versus Phoenix in the West in the 1-4 matchup, then the Lakers and the Spurs in the 2-3 matchup. Over in the East, Orlando, number 1, Miami, number 4, facing off, and then Toronto and New York in the 2-3. Junior, we know where you stand on this. And Gitano, we know where you stand on this. I'm asking the two of you, I want to know, I'm just looking at the number 2 and the number 3 in the West, and I want to know how much money are we putting on the Lakers and the Spurs to win, or at least come out of the West? Is this bet worthy?
I don't know. It depends on if Wemby's back or not, bro. Like I'm not willing to make those bets until I know if Wemby's back. So
okay, if he's back, are we putting a fiver? Are we putting 20? We putting 200? What are we putting a rack?
I
on
mean, I'll put $20 on the Spurs, JD, over the Lakers. You know what I'm saying?
I got 20 push-ups.
Okay,
20 push-ups. Yeah.
I need to hit some push-ups too, so I'll take that, JD.
Yeah, hey, we got to get video evidence of that too. So that's if Wemby's back. We have 20 push-ups on the line. Junior, you might be sore the next day doing 20 push-ups.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm cooked, bro.
What's the best matchup for TV?
I mean, it's probably Spurs Lakers if we're being honest. I mean, if Wemby's
but they
back,
can't play each other. Are you talking about in the finals?
I'm just talking about NBA Cup. What does the NBA want? We're writing the script for the NBA season. So is it OKC so they can win the cup and then now they can go win the NBA championship?
No, I think people are already bored of that.
Yeah,
it's got the Michael Jordan 90s effect already of like, we're tired of seeing you win.
Plus, they're just not a likable team. They're not like the Bulls or, even the Lakers when they were winning or, even like the Celtics teams back in the day. Yeah. People don't like the Thunder. Like no one likes watching the Thunder. Like, I would say like even the Spurs, people used to say they were boring, but they didn't hate on them like people hate on OKC. Like people really just do not like OKC.
The Spurs were fun to watch. I watched that documentary called Game 7 on Prime. I don't know if you guys seen that, but it's kind of the ascension of European stars and how Dirk, when he finally beat the Spurs in Game 7, but it's focused on that game, but it cuts in and talks about,
Did they show the Manu devastating 4-point, bro? Manu, I love Manu, but man, he lost that game for him, bro.
Well,
that's
and they
showed 2003 Western Conference, right?
I think so. Well, no, it was 06 or 05, whatever
year, whenever Dallas won it, yeah. Because Manu fouled Dirk on a layup at the end of the game where he didn't even need to. He could have just let him go, and that they end up losing by like that point or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
but Manu went down and hit a 3 net. He had just hit a 3.
Yeah,
but it was a big comeback. Anyway, to answer your question, JD, I think what the league, being non-biased, looking at the teams that are here right now, I think you want to see Spurs Lakers in a final game. I mean, you're not going to get it, but everyone's been on Wemby's nuts all year. And LeBron and Luka are such a polarizing duo. Like LeBron, it's, is he still good enough? The haters are going to look to be critical, and the stands are going to look to praise him. So he's must see TV. And then you add the Luka factor in, and it's
and I think the Lakers are like they're an easy villain or heel for the mainstream either media or just casual viewers, just because the Lakers do have that prestige. They've got that aura about them. Luka himself is polarizing. I know a lot of people like him, but a lot of people think he's just kind of a punk. The Spurs just kind of have that boy next door vibe. Everybody loves Wemby, they're all just a bunch of good guys, Pop's still a good story of just like being in the front office, and people want to see the Spurs succeed. So I think there's a good, kind of villain hero arc there for the media and just for, the storylines.
The matchup that the NBA doesn't want is OKC Toronto.
Correct.
I mean, anyone coming out of the Knicks, they just got to be rooting for the Knicks because Miami, Orlando, Toronto.
If Toronto makes it to the final, is Drake sitting courtside in Vegas?
Yeah, well,
they're probably begging him to.
You know who loves that series though, Gitano? All of Canada. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Shea, you got Lou, and then you got the Canadian team. Like that goes crazy in Canada, bro. Okay.
I mean, they got Dylan Brooks and Phoenix to root for if they make it. Isn't one of the dudes on Orlando Canadian too? Man, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, on the NBA topic, I think it's time we...
JD and Stumptown. Stump the JD. Stump the JD. Stump the JD.
Let's go.
I got one for you that is NBA in nature, but also topical. I came across something in my feed where the two broadcasters for the LA Clippers spent 2 minutes and 58 seconds, not even talking about the game, just
Bro, that
arguing
was so
with each other.
That was so funny.
Okay, so the question that was in question that one of the announcers didn't understand, or maybe it wasn't articulated well, but we're gonna throw it to JD. And that question is, what trio of family members have played for the same franchise in the NBA?
What trio?
Of family members.
So are we okay?
So is that the Berries?
Junior, you know what it is.
Well, no, I mean,
Junior's
maybe
mute. Junior, hold on, let me mute. How do I mute?
No,
him?
I didn't.
Is it the Berries?
Well, do you want to just throw that out there, or do you want to because we have the Grants, we have the Berries, we
Trio
have the
because
Balls,
Horace, Harvey, and
Jeremy.
Okay. The Wilkins.
There was two. Was there a third?
Isn't Damian Wilkins' son? Didn't he play in the NBA?
Oh yeah. So there's options out there. I don't know if you want to go the Berries. There's 4 of them. We're just asking about a trio.
Well, I only know Rick, Brett, and John. There's 4 Barry. Who was the other Barry brother? Okay, John and Rick.
Brent, John, Rick, and there was a fourth one that they mentioned in this actually.
Oh, so it's them then. It's got to be them.
No, it's not them. And this is Larry Nance Jr. has a brother. And that brother signed with the Cavs in January of 24, making him the 3rd member of the Nance family to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise.
Yeah, you wasn't gonna get that, JD. That's a good one.
I had to
Chris.
look it up, bro.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Chris be pulling stuff literally out the keister here.
Hey, bro, I just pulled it off
it
the
was on the
timeline.
broadcast. Yeah, it was on the broadcast. Yeah, no, but you should go back and listen to that audio, bro, because those announcers were like real talk, like they were like mad.
They were mad, bro. It was like
mad.
2 men forgetting they were at work, just getting after it.
Like, yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys on the NBA. Do you see OKC getting 74 to 75 wins?
Yeah, I do. I mean, barring injury, I do.
Isn't that what I brought up in the very beginning of the season?
Hold on.
Like
That's just one man's answer. Let's I say yes if they make that a goal and that's something they're fighting for all year is to break the wins record, then I can see them doing it. But if it's about managing personnel and keeping people healthy and they start to sit players after they've clinched, then no. Kind of like the Saquon thing last year. That wasn't a team goal for them to get an individual record. I mean, it's not exactly apples to apples, but he could have got it, but that wasn't what they were optimizing for.
Yeah, but even then, Chris, like, I don't know that they even have to go for it, man. Because, like, they can even, I mean, they've spent time this year without Chet, without J. Will. Like, I mean, maybe they could like withstand a couple weeks out with Shea too. Man, who the hell knows? They are, from a team perspective, they are one of the best teams that we have seen ever, and they're doing it differently than both those other teams did. We're talking about the Bulls or the Warriors. OKC is a much different style team than them. Though I would say I would compare them defensively more to the Bulls because they do just get after you and they make your life hell for, the entire game. But I also just think that the way the refs call their games is so just like unfair. Like, bro,
predictable.
And I no one likes watching it. I would go back to that point. Like, they can win 70 games and don't nobody care at all. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why come playoff time, it's going to be really hard for them to beat Denver. Because the way Denver slowed the game down, and I think Denver just choked it out, but Denver has a much better bench because regardless of Shea, Jokic controls the game way too. He's playing at another clip. Yeah, SGA might be MVP last year, but this guy's averaging a triple-double again. Like,
and just remember, like, if Steph doesn't get hurt, OKC might not make it out the second round. I mean, like, we talk about like, this dominating team that they have, and yeah, but playoffs is different, and they didn't run. We talked about this a few pods ago. They didn't run through the playoffs last year. They went to Game 7 with the Pacers, dog. Like, and if if Halliburton's healthy, who knows what happens? So like, yes, they're probably going to get or they're on their way to get the win record. I don't think that has any impact into what the playoffs looks like for them this year, because I think they got even tougher challenges. I think Denver is better without MPJ. I think the Spurs. I mean, I don't think the Thunder want to see the Spurs in the playoffs. Like, I'm not saying the Spurs are ready. I think Spurs are probably a year or two away, but they don't.
I think the Lakers are more of a threat than the Spurs.
Okay,
but Denver is the biggest threat.
But it's a great point, though. But it's a great point, though, Chris. You wouldn't have said that. No one would have said that last year, that the Lakers are a threat to OKC, right? Like, no one would have said that.
I said more of a threat.
Well,
but I think the real threat is Denver. Just like I said in our preview show, that they found their backup to Jokic. They addition by subtraction, Junior's coined phrase. Where you switch out MPJ for Cam Johnson, and then you add Tim Hardaway Jr. and the Travis Kelce doppelganger.
But how come we're not talking about the Pistons, though?
Because they in the East, bro.
Well, reason why, Junior, is because...
Are they still on the heater, or did they lose?
They lost, but
they've only lost 4 games.
I believe him. Sure.
But they had won 13 in a row.
I mean, they've only lost 4 games.
Listen, OKC is on a bender for the regular season. We know that the regular season is not officiated the same way as the postseason. So therefore, OKC is able to draw the fouls. They're able to play it with space. They do the best they can with the hand checking. They play good team defense. They have good length overall as far as 1 through 5. Detroit, I don't know if they can do it because they're still too young. Like, OKC has been through the fire. They've lost some playoff games. And yeah, Detroit lost a series last year, but it takes a couple years.
I think Detroit had that moment last year. I think Cade had his moment last year where he came out as a true superstar, and then he had his playoff moment where he realized, oh, this ain't the same, right? And I like the addition of adding Robinson as another outside shooter for them, replacing Beasley. I think that's an upgrade for them. I think Detroit they're a real threat. If you want to talk about threats to OKC, I think Detroit's a real threat. And I think they play that team brand of basketball that OKC that does play. And the physicality that Detroit brings can match OKC. So if we're talking about OKC, I think it's only fair we're talking about Detroit at this point in the season.
I can't get with an East Coast team, man, or an Eastern Conference team. And that's a broad statement. It is, though, but it's
facts.
When you get through the gauntlet of the West and you play them night in and night out, and I know there's interconference games, but you guys know the movie 300 when they talk to the one army and they're like, "What is your profession?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm a blacksmith. I'm a welder." And then they go to the 300 and they're like, "What is your profession?" And it's like, like they're warriors. They're built different. Like, that is what they do, and I think that's the way that, at least in my perspective, that is how Western Conference teams are. Is like, they just go in and iron sharpens iron every single night. Whereas the East Coast, you have so many lame duck teams that it's a different training session.
I think you got rose-colored glasses on for the West right now, bro. Because I'm not saying the West isn't a better overall conference, but if you're talking about the top teams in the East, I mean, come on, man. We're talking about the Knicks, the Pistons. A few years ago, we were talking about the Boston Celtics having a damn dynasty, man. Like, so like I don't think it's as big of a gap as we're making it out to be. Look no further than the Indiana Pacers taking OKC to 7 games last year in the finals. Like,
I mean, they caught Halliburton and TJ McConnell in like a magical moment. Like, they caught them in a euphoric time in their careers that everybody was peaking at the right time. Pascal couldn't make any mistakes. Like, everyone was playing their role. So, but even to your point, like, things are so flimsy. Yeah, Boston was supposed to be a dynasty a few years ago. Now what are they? You lose a couple of pieces. Indiana was supposed to be they challenged OKC last year. Where are they now? So that it's so flimsy and flippant in the East Coast, where the West is just always like that.
I don't think that like, I think you're actually strengthening my point here, because to that point, if things are so flimsy, whether it's East Coast or
no, just
Eastern
the
or
East
Western,
Coast is flimsy.
Well, I'm saying though, I can apply that to the West Coast too, because we could be saying the same thing about OKC. We're like, oh man, they're going to win 70 and they look like they're going to win championships for the next 5 years, whatever, and then they can come out and just get smoked by Detroit in the finals. Like, you just don't know. You don't know.
I mean, that is like buying a lottery ticket and saying you might win. You don't know. Like, just a random thought that an East Coast team is just going to have this. I mean, it could happen. Don't get me wrong. But also, you picked Atlanta to win 60 games. So maybe the rose-colored glasses might be for the East Coast.
If you look at the last 10 NBA champions, how is that split out between East and West? It can't be that big of a difference.
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
I'm saying it's not. It's not, because you had, Toronto in there. You had the Celtics run in there. You know what I'm saying? So like, you had Eastern, you had the Bucks in there, right? So like, I'm saying, man, I think you're giving a little too much credit to the Western, not enough to the Eastern Conference right now. That's all I'm saying.
OKC, Boston, Denver, Golden State, Milwaukee. It's still loading the rest. But okay, I give you the Boston one and I give you the Milwaukee one. Milwaukee was a one-off. Toronto was a one-off. But other than that,
well, okay, but you say these one-offs, but if there's so many one-offs, then that's also a pattern in itself, dog. OKC could be a one-off.
2 one-offs.
So OKC could be a one-off. That's all I'm saying.
You think OKC is a one-off?
Come on, Junior.
Can I hope? I'm just hopeful right now, because I don't want to see him win nothing. So right now, this is me just hoping and projecting. Okay,
you're trying to manifest.
This is not rational. This is manifesting that. So I will be upfront about that.
Okay. Fair. Agree to disagree. Agree to let the season play out.
Yeah.
I wish Riverside was better at pulling up receipts, because I want to pull up all these takes, but it's like so complicated.
It is hard to do that unless you
cut it.
got to rewatch the show. Because I've been trying to find some receipts and I can't even find them. I know,
man.
No, it's tough. But JD, you got to get out of here, right?
Yeah, we got to end the show properly with Kris saying goodbye.
Okay, well, let's end it properly on this. You spoke about fashion. Are we trying to end it on the fashion, or are we trying to end it? Hey, okay, so let's close this on a good note. Clearly, I am the best dressed host of this podcast, displaying my pride in Finland, my Seahawks, and just how fucking cold it is here. But we tried to touch on this before, and the way that on-air TV personalities dress, there's just some old school and some new school and some I don't give a fuck school. Jatano, where do you stand on this subject, my man?
Yeah, I'm a very traditional gentleman, and we haven't even spoke on it. Happy late Thanksgiving to you guys. Hopefully you guys didn't eat too much and had to unbutton your pants and whatnot and take a nap.
I did.
But man, Carmelo has a segment on his show, Fuck With It or Fuck Out of Here. And let me tell you, Carmelo, get the fuck out of here with this shit. All right? Get out of here. Get you a blazer, get you a tie, get you a button down, and put it on.
What about the sunglasses?
Are those prescription? I'm not getting it, man. I'm not getting it. I'm watching Amazon Prime with Blake Griffin, Dirk, Steve Nash, and Udonis, and Steve Nash looked like he's in a Banana Republic Gap commercial. I just can't figure it out. You turn on the TV, you see Ryan Clark with these double-breasted orange jack-o'-lantern jackets, and Stephen A with his hairline, way back here. It's like,
but they're wearing suits.
They're wearing suits.
So it's a race thing. So the white guys can't dress. You Steve Nash, and then Ryan Clark can dress.
No, what it is, hold on, and this is why I'm going to pull it full circle, is that ESPN is the standard when it comes to TV, TNT. You got these like Amazon and NBC. These guys don't know, like, they're trying to be hip and new, where ESPN is cut and dry. Hey, you wear a suit to work. The same with Turner. I mean, I'm sure if you would let Shaq and Charles wear sweatsuits and shit, I'm sure they would. And that's the cool part about it, is just wear a suit and tie. Just keep it basic.
I mean, please, I'm going to invite all of our many tens of listeners to flood the comments right now and let us know how old of a man JD sounds right now, because that is such an old man yelling at the clouds take, y'all. You know what, man? Nothing wrong with things change. You know, change is the only thing that's constant in our lives, y'all. And you know, to see these new age of shows try something different and be a little more casual, be a little more inviting to the younger fan, I'm here for it, right? The NBA needs the younger audience. That's who they have that support their organization, right? So they need to bring in these young, and they need to get these kids younger. Kids don't care about dudes wearing suits, man. That is old school. They're trying to get with what's now. Like, I don't understand like how wearing a suit makes you a better analyst. It doesn't.
Hey, okay, so I see both points, and what's the one thing they say never lies, Gitano? Numbers never lie.
Yep. Men and women do.
Exactly. Men lie, women lie, numbers never lie. But I would say, to Junior's point,
I like it.
the younger audience uses apps to watch games. They stream. That's a second language. They're fluent in it. And the numbers are telling us that NBA viewership is through the roof this year. And there may be a correlation to it being on all these apps now, and that these folks on these Amazon Prime apps, Peacocks, it's a little bit more relatable to the viewer. So there may be something there, but let's end on this note.
Hold on, I got to tell you something though, real quick. For my birthday this weekend, yesterday, I went to Indochino and got a custom suit. Fully tailored yesterday, double breasted. But I went and got a full.
Hey, do you,
and
man?
That's what's funny. Do you? Exactly. I went and got a custom suit because I believe, as men, there is nothing better than a man wearing a suit and tie.
Hey, that's facts there. I mean, you put on a suit and you go to any sporting or entertainment event in America and act like you belong there, they ain't gonna question you, man.
Hey, what
Have
did
a
I
fake
used to
credential,
wear to
whatever.
Blazer games to come see you, Kris?
Suited and booted, man. Always. Never dressed like a free throw guy or a Chiefsaholic or anything like that, bro. Hey, but let's just end it on this in terms of style. Michael Jordan, buy or sell his style. Everyone on 3, give me your answer. 1, 2, 3.
Sell.
And that tells you right there.
You know what's the worst thing about a suit? You know what? Like, I'd rather you dress like a bum than wear an ill-fitting suit. That is a crime. Okay, so was wearing a suit that ain't tailored, don't fit right, look sloppy. That just makes
got
you
the
look,
wrong color shirt under it that don't match.
That just makes you look bummy. And so,
that's fair.
If you gonna wear a suit, it better be correct, because those ill-fitting suits are not it. Not it at all.
Hey, Junior, and I bet you, I just realized that's probably why you hate suits, because you probably had some ill-fitting ones in your life.
Yeah, bro, like, it's tough, man. I had to, my wife recently custom tailored me a suit coat because, like, I can't, like, I ain't off the rack, bro, but it looked fresh though, you know what I'm saying? Because it was literally
felt good too,
literally
though.
tailored to me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
there we go. Hey, different strokes, different folks. It all works. My dudes, some great color commentary today. Let's keep it live. We'll pop on next week. And Junior promised he's going to have this edited and posted by Monday morning. So be good. Until the next time, my dudes.